Welcome back to our off-grid home build, where we recently raised our 30-foot Pacific Yurt. It's the middle of October, and the weather in Vermont is very unpredictable this time of year. We were very lucky with 2 beautiful days and 4 helpful neighbors for putting up the yurt shell, but we did leave out a few important steps, and now it's time to complete the assembly of the wind and snow kit. Right, so can you talk a little bit about why you did not do the wind and snow kit first?
Yeah, so Pacific Yurts recommends that the instructions say, and they recommend putting the wind and snow kit in before putting all the covers on. And that, I'm assuming, is mainly because you have to put supports under each rafter. And then from the outside, you have to screw the lattice to the supports. So because of that, it's kind of hard to do with the cover on. So, but we wanted to have it rainproof tomorrow, so the floor didn't get all wet again. So we went ahead and put everything together, and I'll do everything I can on the inside with the cover on to put the wind and snow kit in. And then the very last step, we'll probably have to take loose the outer cover and get up in there and put the screws in. So I'm going to have to go back and put all the wind and snow kit stuff, and part of that is these brackets that hold the rafters to the rafter supports when we put them in. These would have been a little easier to get in the framing stage before the skins went on, but they're not that bad to put on at all. So all you have to do is lift the fabric up, scoot them over, be careful not to let it rip your fabric, and then just slide it down. It's easy, it works.
But before installing the rafter supports, Charles decided to finish everything he would need the scaffolding to reach, including the hardware for the dome skylight.
So I've got the dome pretty much done. I got a fan mount put in. The dome is all attached. The dome opener is installed. We were going to put a bug screen on, but we really don't want to obscure our view. So we're going to keep the bug screen for later, and I'll probably have to do that on top of a ladder somehow. The dome opens with this opener. Just screw that out. And it opens. And to do this from the ground, we've got a pole with a hook on it that hooks into here, and we just roll it in and out. But that's how far that it opens. It's just a vent. So I've got all the cables zigzagged in the ceiling. That's part of the wind and snow kit. They're all in and secured and ready to go, and I think that is the last I need of the scaffolding. So I'm getting ready to take the rest of the scaffolding apart and get it out of here. I am marking on the floor where all of our walls and appliances and everything are going.
We will have about 700 square feet of living space, and most of it will be an open floor plan, with an enclosed bathroom in the back, and there will be kitchen cabinets and appliances on the front side of the bathroom wall, including the dishwasher that I miss very much, and a ventless all-in-one washer and dryer, which we'll be able to use on sunny days when the solar panels are charging the batteries.
The snow and wind kit consists of a lot of parts, but including these rafter supports. So they go up under the rafters and down to the ground, floor, and they attach at both places, and they support the rafters so it's not got as much weight on the kana when the snow piles on it. Transferred all that weight directly to the floor instead of through the kana.
Why is this taking you so long, Charles?
There are 20 screws in each one of these supports. 8 at the bottom, 12 at the top.
That's a lot of screws.
A lot of screws, and it takes forever. So I'm putting on the last of the snow and wind kit, which is driving screws through the lattice into the outside of the rafter supports. And this would have been very much easier before putting the covers on. So if you've got plenty of nice weather, I would highly recommend following the instructions in the manual and doing so. But as I'm doing now, I'm showing that it can be done if you're trying to beat weather like we were. So once this is all done, I'll have to go readjust all the insulation panels again and get the outer cover readjusted and get it all put back together and laced up.
If you have been following our projects for a few months, you will appreciate how excited we are that our water tanks are finally buried after 11 loads of fill and 15 weeks of shovel work. Here comes our topsoil. We have a mix of native grass and wildflower seeds waiting in the fridge, with instructions to plant them after the first killing freeze, but before the ground freezes solid. The front door is white on both sides right now. We're going to paint the outside of the door. To save money, we're going to paint it with the same brown as the bender board. You can't really see the front door through the screen door very well anyway, so it doesn't really need to be fancy. And then on the inside of the door, we're going to leave that white. And if we ever decide that we want to paint it a certain color, we can do it at a later date. Our last few steps for weatherproofing the yurt shell are pretty simple. A clear seam sealant was included in the yurt kit, and Charles put some above one window before he decided that it made such a mess he would come back to that later if it turns out to be absolutely necessary. And finally, weather stripping around the bottom circumference is recommended in the instructions but not included with the kit. Now that the yurt is up, we have a number of projects competing to be first on the priority list. A few of the top contenders include the front wing of the deck to bring things more easily through the front door, a rocket mass heater for the yurt, and putting the RV solar panels on top of the travel trailer. We also have some decisions to make about how to deal with a winter that we're not quite ready for, so we hope you'll join us as we choose our own adventure in the upcoming episode.